So there's lots of different types of clutter that really just fill our lives with just too much stuff. We have all this extra stuff that just clouds our physical space, which is again going to cause some mental clutter and emotional clutter and all these other things in your life.
Today, my next expert guest is an amazing individual who can transform spaces, not just physical spaces, but also the space between your ears. So, because you've got brain fog, she's got a quick fix for that as well. Please welcome the author of The Spiritual Feng Shui for Mind, Body, and Spirit, Miss Ivy Ellerby. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, my pleasure. Amazing picture of the book. So, you know, and I'll hold it up. They'll probably tell me to hold it up a little longer because, like, this is a really good picture and we want to see more of it. So it's Feng Shui, right? You're a Feng Shui expert.
Yes.
What kind of word is that? What does that mean?
Right, so it's Chinese in origin.
Yeah.
It's just observations that have taken place over thousands of years. And basically, as a Feng Shui expert, I go into spaces and I make specific recommendations of how to manage the energy in a home or a business.
That's awesome. So people say, okay, so what kinds of clutter? For example, what is physical clutter and how does it manifest?
Sure, so physical clutter is the stuff that we're all aware of. That's the stacks in your home.
Oh, yeah.
That's that junk drawer in the kitchen that no one really wants to talk about.
You've been to my house, haven't you?
It's in my house too, right? That's something I struggle with. It's the closets in those guest bedrooms where you just keep them closed or we close that extra bedroom door. It's the piles of clothes. It's all of that stuff, those receipts that we don't want to throw away yet, but we don't want to take the time to scan them in either. So it's all the physical clutter. You can even have physical clutter in your refrigerator.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, old food, expired food, things we know we're not going to eat, but we stick it in there.
And if there's a man living in your house, because they never see what's behind the front of the refrigerator, because they'll say,
Right.
they meaning me, will say, you know, I cannot find the cottage cheese because it's behind all that stuff. So we just don't even look beyond that and the clutter continues, doesn't it?
That's right, that's right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so we have all of this clutter that just compounds and compounds and compounds in our homes until we have a mess and then we don't have the time to go through it and get rid of it.
That's amazing. So one of the things that we talk about is that there's physical clutter, but there's also, and I introed this in the beginning, the clutter between your ears, your, clutter in your mind. Tell us about that. What is that all about?
So we have emotional, mental, and we also can have spiritual clutter, right? So the mental clutter are going to be those things that are deadlines that we need to make and need to finish. That's going to be our emails that we're going, oh, it's so many, I can't go through. It's all of the, oh, I've got to be here at a certain time. I don't know how I'm going to actually do this. It's all those mental things that just clutter our minds so that we don't think clearly. But emotional clutter are going to be those things that weighs on our emotional bodies. So that's going to be things like those one-sided friendships. You have that friend that always calls and you dread seeing their name on the caller ID because you know you're getting ready to waste 10 minutes of your life listening to them go on and on and on. So that's going to be your emotional clutter.
And never pause to ask you anything about yourself, right?
They don't even care.
Exactly. They don't care what you say.
Absolutely. So there's lots of different types of clutter that really just fill our lives with just too much stuff. And I find that's just the biggest thing in our culture.
And what are some of the biggest mistakes people make in, for example, just starting with physical clutter, in placements of things in the home? And I need to really listen carefully because, you know, I tell you, I don't think I do a good job in this.
Well, you know, Dr. Nandi, the biggest problem that I see amongst most people is we just have too much stuff. It's too easily accessible. It's too easy for us to get it. We can, I mean, you know, you have all these services, you can have it delivered the same day, the next day, within 2 days. And so we have the ability to obtain the stuff and we just fill our houses to the rim.
And no service is taken away in 2 days.
No.
Hardly any.
No, it takes like a week to schedule it, right? So it's just we have too much stuff. And instead of, you know, getting rid of it and saying, I need to get rid of this stuff, we just start piling it in and scooting it in. We find a space, we put another chair, we put another table. And so we have all this extra stuff that just clouds our physical space, which is again going to cause some mental clutter and emotional clutter and all these other things in your life.
And the idea is that to organize your life a little bit more, and less is more sometimes. So it's not so much having more and more stuff. And I'll tell you, and I don't mean to blame the media, but you're bombarded with information and images about the fact that, listen, you know, the more you have, the more successful you are. And you equate more stuff with more success. And that's not always true. What happens is that you become you become less efficient, more inefficient, and then you have clutter in your brain as well as your physical space. And for some people, it's paralyzing. I mean, all of us have seen shows where, in television where people have so much stuff and they don't know what to do with it.
Right.
So amazing advice. Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Parthanandi, and if you enjoyed that video, you're going to love the next one. It's full of incredible information to help you start your health hero journey.